You weren't meant to be alone for this long. Not because you'll get bored, but because something inside you, something ancient, starts to wake up when no one's watching. And it doesn't always speak your language. You sit alone in your room. No noise, no notifications, no one to message. At first, it feels peaceful, a break from the chaos. But the silence isn't silent. It starts to whisper, and you realize you were never truly alone. You've just become trapped with something you can't escape. Your own mind. At first, it plays nice. It lets you scroll, sleep, snack, repeat. Days blend into each other like forgotten dreams. You lose track of time, or rather, time loses track of you. No one's calling. No one's asking how you are. And something inside you begins to shift. Humans aren't wired to live in silence. We're born into connection, skin to skin, word to word, face to face. The brain expects others. It builds itself around interaction. Without it, it begins to starve. In isolation, your brain becomes its own worst enemy. It replays old conversations. It reopens wounds you thought were healed. It starts arguments with people who aren't even there. And you keep losing to voices no one else can hear. The longer you're alone, the more reality starts to blur. You imagine footsteps. You think someone called your name. You laugh at your own jokes, not because they're funny, but because the silence feels too loud. That's not just loneliness. That's your brain slowly breaking the fourth wall of sanity. It craves stimulation, and when it doesn't get it from others, it starts manufacturing its own. Memories feel like hallucinations. Your inner voice becomes an unwanted narrator, and emotions stop making sense. You feel sad, then numb, then panicked, for no reason at all. Studies on solitary confinement reveal something terrifying. Even strong, mentally healthy people, given enough time alone, begin to unravel. They talk to insects. They pace in circles. They forget how to speak. And eventually, they lose touch with who they are. That's not weakness. That's biology. The human brain uses social interaction as a mirror. To understand itself, it needs to be reflected in someone else's eyes. Without that mirror, the self begins to dissolve. You forget what kind of person you are. Your values blur. Your voice feels foreign, like it belongs to a stranger you used to know. You might think you're just introverted. You might even say you like being alone. And maybe you do. But solitude and isolation aren't the same. Solitude is chosen, controlled, peaceful. Isolation sneaks up on you. It doesn't knock, it just locks the door behind you. And the longer it stays, the more you forget how to leave. Your brain's architecture is social. Even imagination relies on other people. You picture conversations, reactions, judgments. You rehearse lives in your head you'll never live out loud. But when no new faces appear, your mental theater closes. The world shrinks until you only exist inside your thoughts. And that's where the real danger begins. Because not all thoughts are kind. Not all memories are true. And not every feeling deserves a seat at the table. With no one to talk to, those thoughts echo louder. They loop. They twist. They grow fangs. You doubt yourself. You rewrite your past. You invent reasons why no one's around. And your mind always blames you. This is why people crumble in isolation. Not because they're weak, but because the brain needs friction, voices, presence. To know it still exists. You think you're fine alone, but your brain doesn't want to be fine. It wants to be known. And without anyone to know it, it starts to vanish. Or worse, it turns against you, just to feel alive again. If this made you feel seen or unsettled, it's because deep down, your mind remembers what you try to forget. Don't let it spiral alone. Subscribe for more truths your brain was never meant to hear. Because sometimes the scariest place to be is inside your own head.